Well, the Seahawks dropped a close game at home against Tampa Bay. We're going to talk about it. Talk about my take on the game, who is to blame, and Darnold's big game. But first, if you like what you see, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more breaking news, Seattle Seahawks, all things to do with the Seahawks here, right? That is what this channel is all about. And we're talking about this game today, well, yesterday. Um, and my take watching that game was that is probably one of the best losses we've had in a long time. Like, yeah, you can blame it on Jason Meyer for missing a kick. He missed a field goal in the first quarter, which ended up being crucial. We lost the game by 3. And yeah, you could blame it on Sam Darnold for throwing an interception at the end of the game. But I have a hard time blaming it on Darnold. He played really well, and we're gonna get to that. He played amazing. And you could blame it on the coach, the coaching staff, and the defense. I mean, there's a lot of people you could blame, but at the end of the day, we played really well. We hung in there against one of the best teams. I think Tampa Bay is a legit Super Bowl contender at this point. I think they're a really good football team. And we hung in there. Seattle hung in there for a really good game. I think this game probably deserved to be the nightcap. If you asked me, this game should have been Sunday Night Football. That's how impressed I was by both of these teams. So you know what? If you're gonna lose by 3 against a really good Tampa Bay team, that's fine. Looking at the numbers, Sam Darnold 28 for 34, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns. The third time in his career he has managed 4 touchdowns, and just the 1 interception. On the rushing side of the ball, Kenneth Walker 10 carries for 86 yards. Zach Charbonnet, 9 carries for 36 yards, but he does go for a touchdown. And then on the receiving side of the ball, JSN has another fantastic game. This guy just keeps having great game after great game. 8 receptions, 132 yards, and a touchdown. He averages 16 and a half yards per reception. Cooper Kupp has a nice day. 59 yards, 6 receptions. How about A.J. Barner? 7 receptions, 53 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We talked about the tight end core saying somebody's going to have to break out, and I thought it would be Elijah Arroyo, the second-round pick. No, A.J. Barner is really breaking out in a big way this year. He is a good football player, and he's got style, and I really like A.J. Barner. You see this guy coming out post-game wearing a three zipper shirt. I don't even know what that was, but AJ Barner's got some swag. He's got some style. He's a good football player. So far this season, 7 receptions, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. That was going into today. So he now has 4 touchdowns on the season in 5 games. And he's caught 14 passes. 4 of them are for touchdowns, now over 130 yards. Great season for the second-year tight end. Yeah, this guy, he's a legit player. I like him a lot. Also looking at a guy like Torrey Horton, who catches 3 passes for 39 yards and a touchdown. Derek Young with a 36-yard reception. Nice to see him show up and do something. And you do get Elijah Arroyo for 1 reception, 10 yards. Defensively, it was pretty rough. Seattle could not generate a pass rush at all today. 1 sack, half was DeAnthony Bell, half was Uchenna Nwosu. And Seattle also does not force a turnover in this one. Kobe Bryant, 7 tackles. He leads the way there. 7 tackles, 1 assist. On the return game, Derek Young having a nice couple of returns. 5 returns, 154 yards. No punt returns. Tampa Bay, I think they punted twice maybe, and we didn't return any of those. Jason Meyer, he goes 5 for 5 with extra points, but he does miss a field goal. And like I said, you could blame the missed field goal as a reason why we lost this one. Personally, I think it has more to do with just the fact that the Buccaneers are a really good football team, and they outplayed us in the end, but I think we should be proud of what we were able to perform. So talking about who is to blame, who is the biggest reason to blame? At the end of the day, I think the thing I would blame, I'm going to kind of take as counterpoint to this. Do you blame Seattle or do you blame Tampa Bay for just being really good? Like, that's honestly, my take on the situation is who's to blame? The Buccaneers are to blame because they outplayed us. At the very end of the game, they made the plays they needed to make. They got the interception, kind of a fluky play, bounces off the receiver's helmet, and they picked it up. They pulled it out, and good for them. Kudos to them for doing that, for figuring that out. Um, Baker Mayfield made the plays at the end of the game, leads a game-winning drive. He's I think he has 4 game-winning drives already this year. Can he keep that up? We'll see. Baker Mayfield's a really good player. Right now, I don't think there's very many quarterbacks who are playing better than Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield is probably one of them. Like if I had to give you my quarterback rankings, you know, Darnold's pretty high up there. Right now, I would say Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Mayfield, probably Jared Goff. He's been off to an electric start. Probably Matt Stafford, Dak Prescott, Daniel Jones. Those are probably my top 8. And then Sam Darnold's probably number 9 right now. I'm going off of just this year. I'm not going. Honestly, I mean, he might be better than Mahomes this year. I'm talking just this year. Obviously, if you want to go, you know, the full, the full picture, the big picture, obviously Mahomes is much better, and Joe Burrow is a better quarterback, and Justin Herbert. But I think this year, Darnold he's played better than Mahomes. I think he's played better than. I mean, Burrow's only played 2 games. He's in that conversation. I mean, he's been a top 10 quarterback this year for sure. The difference is Baker Mayfield has been a top 5 quarterback this year, and he's a really, really good football player. And you see it. You see it when you watch him. He's a really fun player. He's a really fun guy to watch. Baker, leading his 4th game-winning drive of the season. He leads the league. Darnold's also, though, a really fun player to watch, and that's kind of what I want to touch on is, Sam Darnold, another big game. Is he elite now? And when do you start talking about elite? I think we talked about this last week a little bit about, when do you start to get into the is he elite conversation? Because I don't want to jump the gun on this, but it feels like this is much more sustainable than Geno Smith in 20. Like this is the best we've seen a Seattle quarterback since 2022 Geno Smith. And the problem with 2022 Geno Smith, obviously, was that he was never the same. He was great in 2022, and then he was good in 2021, and then he was fine last year. But Geno was like up here, and then down here, and now he's way down. I mean, did you watch the Raiders game today? It's terrible. I think Darnold is a little bit more sustainable because he did it last year, and he's doing it again this year. And looking around the league, I mean, here's where he's at right now. Sam Darnold, 6th in passing yards, 1246 in yards per attempt. If you take away the backups who are all above him, he's number 1, 9.3 yards per attempt. The only guys higher than him in yards per attempt are Andy Dalton, who has attempted 6 passes. Trey Lance has attempted 4 passes. Mitch Trubisky has attempted 2 passes. Taysom Hill, who's attempted 1 pass, and Cam Akers, who's attempted 1 pass. So out of the guys who are actually starting quarterbacks, Sam Darnold, highest yards per attempt in the league at 9.3. Completion percentage, similarly, when you take out the backups, and I think that's only fair because, you're not comparing him to Andy Dalton and Mason Rudolph. Sam Darnold right now, the only guys ahead of him are Jared Goff and Drake May. He is 3rd in the NFL in completion percentage right now at 73.1%. If you want to talk touchdown passes, he's thrown 9 touchdown passes. The only guys ahead of him right now are Tua with 10, Dak with 10, Baker with 10, Lamar Jackson with 10, Stafford 11, and Goff 12. So what's that? That puts him at 7th place, tied with Josh Allen in 7th place. Darnold has thrown 3 picks. That is slightly more than you'd maybe want him to have thrown, but still good. And let's look at the passer rating. Again, take out the backups. Where does he rank among passer ratings? Number 1, Lamar. Number 2, Jared Goff. And then number 3, Sam Darnold. Number 3 in passer rating. Look, I understand all of those stats are flawed. None of those stats are the perfect. There is not a perfect quarterback stat out there. I would argue that the most perfect stat would be the touchdown to interception ratio. But even that, you could be like, there are quarterbacks who would rather just throw it away than not throw a pick, or they'd rather take a sack. at the end of the day, there's not a perfect stat to measure quarterbacks, but when you start to see Darnold is fifth in passing yards, and he's seventh in touchdowns, and he's third in completion percentage, and he's third in quarterback rating, and then it's like, okay, obviously all of these stats are kind of flawed, but at the same time, he's in the top of the league in all of them. That has to mean something, right? And I think it does. I think it does mean something. Look, let's give it a few more weeks before we truly want to start calling him elite, but this is a really good quarterback. And I don't even think we realized how good he was going to be. I think a lot of people thought, yeah, he'll be good, but he's not going to be like he was last year. I think he could be. He looks really good right now. But with that being said, guys, let's wrap this video up for today. It's late, guys. I need to get to bed. Leave a comment down below. Is Sam Darnold elite? That's my question of the day. Is Sam Darnold elite? Just want to hear yes or no. With that being said, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as always, until then, go Seahawks.